Hi everybody, thanks for joining Create with Dee. Today I'm going to share with you how you can make this very special pull-up card that accordions up and is meant to be hung and enjoyed by the recipient. Let's get started making this adorable card. The materials needed to make this card would be stamp sets of the frosted foliage and itty bitty Christmas sentiments or images on both of those. We're going to need the first Frost Designer Series paper, some silver foil, some glimmer paper, and then also the Seaside Spray cardstock, inks of the Silvery Shimmer. This is going to be the metallic ink, as well as a Seaside Spray ink, classic ink. Okay, let's get started assembling this. So the measurements and materials for the base would be a piece of, this is the Seaside Spray cut at 6 1/4 by 6 1/4. This is one sheet of the first frost, and this pack of paper comes 6 by 6, so no cutting, just that alone. Then we need 4 strips of, again, it's still Seaside Spray. This is cut at 2 by 11. So again, you can get 4 of these out of one sheet of cardstock. And each of these are scored in 2-inch intervals. So it's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And then you have this 1-inch strip left down at the bottom. So that's going to be our fan folds that we use. This is one of the projects that we had in Stamp-A-Palooza. So this would be what you would find in your kit to go. You are going to get, let me just double check here. Yes, you'll get 16 of these squares made out of, again, first frost. These are 1 3/4 by 1 3/4, and you're going to need 4 Whisper White cut up 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. These are from the sprig punch. 3 of them punched out in the glimmer paper. Some more of those. And then we're going to need some circles. This is the, let me see here. This is 1 1/2 inch circles, and this is with the silver foil, and again with the Seaside Spray, and another 1-inch circle out of Seaside Spray. So with all of this material, we're going to make this beautiful accordion card. We'll go ahead and do our stamping here first. That way we'll have all of the pieces for assembly at that point. So I'm going to take the Seaside Spray ink pad, and with the Thinking of You This Christmas from the Itty Bitty Christmas stamp set. I love that stamp set. I love it. We're going to stamp Thinking of You at Christmas on all 4 of these first. That way, whichever side that it might be hanging or they're looking at, they see the same sentiment. Get the ink closed up here. And then with our Silvery Shimmer and with the snowflake images from the frosted foliage, we'll go ahead and get some snowflakes inked up, and we're just going to use this as a background stamp. So we can just stamp that right on top of it. So sparkly, then it matches the paper. And it does just act as a nice background, allowing that Seaside Spray to come up to the forefront. But this project is going to catch the light and then some. Okay, that's our stamping. So each one of these strips are going to look exactly the same. I like to make it so that each of the layers are from the same pattern. So on the top pattern is all the same, and then the second one from the top is all the same, and then we have the sentiment, and then another pattern and another pattern. So they're uniform on all 4 sides. Now you may want to take creative control and do something differently, but what I have is all 4 of these like this, and what I'll do is simply glue onto our Seaside strip that we have scored every 2 inches. I'll glue it down. I'll adhere it down with multi-purpose glue so that it looks like this, leaving the 1/2 inch strip down here open. So this will be the order that we have it. So I'll go ahead and glue all 4 of these off camera. So I've got all of our beautiful strips here done, and as you can see, they're all the same. We do want to go ahead and fold these, fan fold them, mountain fold them, so it's back and forth. And we want the mountain fold, like if this is panel 1, we want the first to be a mountain fold, and then it's just fan fold or mountain valley fold from there. I'm just gonna kind of get a nice crisp edge on those. And again, start out with a mountain. So we're fan folding those. Next, what we're going to do is tuck each of our fan fold panels, all 4 panels, behind the 6x6 First Frost Designer Series paper. And we need it to be like pretty much dead center. So what you want to do is grab your grid paper or your ruler, and on each side make a little tick mark with a pen or pencil, something that you can see, and mark at 3 inches. That's halfway. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and make a little mark on all of the sides at 3 inches. And you don't have to worry about seeing the mark because we will be gluing down that first panel that touches it. Okay. Now, you're not going to be gluing down the first panel, but it won't, believe me, it won't see on it. Okay, so I've got adhesive on the back side of our panels here. And what we want to do is line it up halfway. Okay, so this is 2 inches, so we want to work on about the 1 inch mark. And so if we wanted to, we could even, use your grid paper and kind of, come in at 1 inch if you want. I kind of just eyeball it. And then if I line this up again, this should be between 2 and 4 inches on your ruler. And that one looks pretty good. And we'll do it and then I just kind of open that one up just to kind of get it out of our road. Got adhesive on all 4 sides. So again, I can almost here just kind of line it up at the 2 and the 4. Slide that in. Just kind of test it. Kind of doing it at, whenever I do the videos, it always is kind of an odd angle here. That looks good. Kind of press that down. Open it up. And just kind of continue. Okay, now what I want to do is go ahead and fan fold all of these together. And what we want to make sure is that the corners don't overlap, because if they do, then it won't open up the way that we want it to. And that looks good. So as long as there's no overlap, you're pretty good. And then at this point, if you do need to do any adjusting, you can. You just need them all to stay down, and like this is perfect. This is how we want it to look. We don't want any of these to cross over that, because when you collapse it, it won't collapse right. But that looks really good. The next step is to create this little crossbar here. This is what's going to connect the 4 panels together. And so this is 2 strips of the Seaside Spray again. And these are 3/4 of an inch by 3.5. And we just want to go ahead and glue those together. I'll just glue those together in the center. And this, you do have a little bit of, what do I want to say? It doesn't have to be perfect. You got a little bit of wiggle room there. And you're going to need a hole punch. I've got a standard 1/4 of an inch of an office hole punch. Probably need to let that dry just a little bit. But we're going to punch a hole in the center because we need to create something for our ribbon to come out of. All right, and then next what we're going to do is one of these 1.5-inch circles is going to go on the bottom. See if you can see that. That's going to cover up our string. So that's just to make it our ribbon. That's just to make it nice and neat. So we don't need this one off to the side. But we're going to have some nice layering elements on it. So again, this is the 1.5 and this is the 1-inch circle punch. And there again, we're going to just use some glue and glue those down. And then again, we're going to punch this in the center just because it's not going to, well, I think what I could do, in fact, why don't I try this? I'm going to go ahead and glue this around. I think I can put this over top of it. Kind of get it centered where I like. This will make for a nice pretty crossbar. And then I can turn this over and match up my holes and then punch through it all. Okay, so this is what our ribbon's going to go through. This is the beautiful Seaside Spray Glimmer ribbon that's in the catalog, the holiday catalog. And what we can do is just bring that through. And I have about 9 inches of it. You can make it however you like. I'm going to tie a knot. And just make sure that that doesn't, there we go. And then you can go ahead and even tape down these little wings, and that's what I'm going to do. And our other circle has no other purpose than to hide this here. And I like to use dimensionals for that. Let's see here, just out of reach. Oh, there we go. And so I'm going to just get really close to that knot that I made. And then that just lines up over the back of the silver. But now that knot's not only hidden, it's reinforced a little bit. Now we have the pull mechanism. Now it's time to attach our little crossbars, and it's kind of nice almost if you have something to help you hold it down. So whether it's a stamp case, this clear block, whatever it is, would be just fine. And what we want to do is we want to put adhesive on the outer edges of this, and that gets tucked behind the top fan fold section, the top panel here. So I am going to use, I know I've been using snail, I just happen to have my multi-purpose glue handy here as well. So just wanted to show whatever adhesive that you like, you can do that. And this is where, you know, again, like having octopus arms would really help. But I'm just going to go ahead and get this one side done. Okay, so I'm going to come under and get a good press on it, just so again that doesn't happen. And if I feel like I need to add a little more adhesive, I will on it. Again, I want to kind of shut it to make sure, and then open it back up. And you want to be careful that you don't glue the panels together like you just saw that I did there. I kind of moved that tombow around a little bit and I got it on the back panel. So I'm going to make sure that I keep it open until that dries because I don't want it to stick permanently. So if that happens to you, don't worry about it. Oh, and what we also need to do, and I forgot to do this step before you put it together, after you put the tabs on it here, you can go ahead and put it back on your card base, but we can so do that right now. No big deal. Oh, this card is so pretty. So pretty. Okay, just really 3 more little things to do, and that is to put on our little sprigs, just something to decorate the top of it. Just make it even more of a special piece, more glitter and glam for when it comes, people open it up. So I'm just going to add 3 of the sprigs around it. Kind of spacing them out. You could add more if you'd like. It's just totally up to you. We did 3 for Stamp-A-Palooza. We found that was what, you know, worked to go around the top of it. And there we go. We have our accordion card. And I do want to just go ahead and make sure, again, anything that I'm going to make sure it's nice and aerated before, you know, I close it down for sure. So let's just bring in the other card here. This would be a perfect card to actually give either in person. When I give this card, I will probably go ahead and have it on top of the box. So let's say I'm giving a present like a sweater or whatever, and when they open up the box lid, this is what greets them before they dive into the tissue paper. You know, how gorgeous is that? This would also be something that might be sitting on top of a gift bag. Again, they open up the gift bag, and then it's a gift and a gift. You could also give them one of those little ornament hangers so that they could sit this out on their you know, their end table, their nightstand, and enjoy it in its 3D glory, because it really is meant to be hung. Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed this, this wow card here. It's really, I don't think that difficult to put together. It's just got a lot of pieces to it, but it's all repetitive. And also, it's a great way to you know, enjoy all of those beautiful papers that are in the First Frost Designer Series paper stack. Okay, everybody, have a great day and happy crafting. Bye-bye.